All right, what's up, guys? It's Braven on Friday the 14th, I believe it is today. And this was supposed to be day 26, I think, of the vlog series. And it's not going to come up today. But I said I'd release a vlog every day. So this is about the best I can do. And what happened was the OBS software that captures the screen in the Ableton session and the audio from the computer malfunctioned, where I just did a whole hour-long session in the studio. It was a good session. We finished mixing for the most part the song. We did a preliminary mix down. I was going to throw everything, all the media, into CapCut to edit this thing, and I noticed that the screen recording freezes after 5 minutes. And that comes down to the OBS software being hindered by my USB to USB-C port. Admittedly, I have a cheap port that I use to plug in my hard drives and my mouse and my MIDI controller, etc. This piece of equipment has cost me, probably, we'll see, but maybe a few days of proper vlogs. So I will be uploading daily. It's just that you might get something like this sort of video where I'm just like, oh, well, this is the reason I couldn't do a vlog. I was in the studio for over an hour working and mixing and dishing out tips and everything like that. I can't put anything out because I don't have anything to show you. I have the iPhone footage, which is just me talking into the microphone. I have the Audacity footage, which is the microphone recording. But there's only 5 minutes of screen, and it is not conclusive. It's not helpful at all. And so this is my excuse for a video today. I think it's day 26. I'm not even sure at this point. I've just been uploading every day, trying to be consistent. And it's things like this that keep you from really doing a good job. Definitely is possible to put up a video every day. It's just a question of, you know, how helpful is that video gonna be? How high quality is that video gonna be? Sometimes, you know, you just got the hiccups, and it's just, or sometimes it's like this week where on Monday I'm moving to a different part of town. Actually, my lease is ending on the 30th, but I'm getting into this new apartment starting on Monday, which is the 17th. I'm actually trying to get up the money and the resources to just try to take care of that really smoothly. I'm gonna be really busy this weekend and really busy next week, just like trying to like shift my life and move. I don't know what the quality is going to be like. I don't know how tip heavy it's going to be, but that's what we're working with, and I appreciate you guys sticking with me. Thank you for all your interest in the channel. I've got people reaching out to me saying they're getting a lot out of the videos, and that just warms my heart, makes my day. I've got a long way to go. I've got so much more to share, and I really appreciate you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the daily vlog. I'm bravenwillmakeit, aka Braven, on Spotify and all streaming services. I'm just working on my music here, and I've been producing in Ableton for about 8 years, and I've got a lot of experience I like to share. I am a hip-hop artist and producer, but I feel like people that produce in all genres can kind of glean information from what I share. Today we're just working on this song. The beat is titled Groove, but yesterday we came up with a name for it. It's called Strange Emancipation. What I notice about backing vocals is you don't want to use the same plugins and the same plugins is fine, but you don't want to use the same settings on the backing vocals because they will sound too similar to the lead vocal. Each backing vocal, you can tweak the compressor, you can tweak the EQ, just to give each voice its own kind of unique sound, so it doesn't sound like too processed or too robotic. I find that tweaking a lot of the settings in the backing vocals helps them sound more organic. All right, so I've taken the drums and grouped them, and I'm gonna throw... We need to do some leveling. We're mixing out of order here, but we need to do some leveling, as in I need to bring the whole track down probably a little bit, but we can worry about that later. It's not clipping too bad, especially in these studio headphones. Again, another day where I'm not talking that much, kind of just buried in this mix. I'm gonna just walk you through a couple things I did. We did put the glue on the drum bus, and glue, again, is just gluing together the group. Processing a group with the same effects gives every effect this stickiness where the hi-hat kind of sticks to the snare and the snare kind of sticks to the kick. And I hate using that word stickiness, but it is what it truly is sonically. It's like the waveforms are kind of becoming more similar to each other, and so you kind of have this cohesiveness in the group. We double compress the bass, so we have a little bit of compression, maybe like 1 or 2 dB of gain reduction on the bass through a stock compressor. I could have switched that out for something a little more fancy. It's just I'm really good with this side chain. I have it side chained correctly, and I'm like, I know exactly where to put it. Then we put our bass on the bass, and what this does is it's another form of compression and actually saturation in a way. It boosts the harmonics of the bass. If you do that, you don't want to do too much. And so I did that a little bit. I brought the bass back down into the mix. I took an EQ to the clap because it was just too tingy. It was a little bit too trebly. And so I wanted to take some out. I'll probably take even more out when I do the final mix down. But in this preliminary mix down, the clap was clashing with the vocals a little bit. So I was like, okay, let's take some oomph out of the clap. Added a compressor to the synth. Just wanted the vocals in this synth layer, the bum 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 bum, and the bass to all play nicely together. I took a Pro Q3 to this the white noise too, but this You Can Do It little sample because it just wasn't poking out enough. So I was like, let's boost the signal in the mids and highs just to like let it really shine. And then the white noise also got a Pro Q3. And then mixing vocals was most of the session. I glued the vocals a little bit, got to finish doing that. And we melodined everything except the chorus. I left the chorus non-melodined. I think that sounds the best. I want it to sound like gang vocals, and I don't want to make it sound too processed, too robotic. Sometimes doing things differently in the hook can really let the hook kind of have its own unique feel to it. There's so many things where if you're mixing for hours on end, and this wasn't a very long session, but if you're mixing for hours on end, you do get ear fatigue, you get brain fatigue, and you lose reference. You lose reference between what commercially and will sound good commercially and what will sound good in your streaming, on your phone, on a speaker, in your car, in the club, so you want to make sure that you're giving yourself breaks, probably taking multiple days between finishing a track and mixing it down and mastering it. I had a little birdie tell me that I should be sending my stuff to other people to mix and master. Probably a fair point. I'm sorry. I'm going to take the Russ route. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to mix it all myself. I'm going to engineer, I'm going to mix, I'm going to master all myself, because that way I can have complete control of how it sounds, and I don't need to go back and forth with mixing engineers like, oh, it's a little too this, it's a little too that. Can you do this, that, the other? That's going to get costly and it's going to eat up time, and I know how to do it. So as long as I give myself time in between sessions, I think you really can't lose out by just doing everything yourself, as long as you're attentive, listening to it on different systems and giving yourself breaks and keeping the listener and other listeners in mind. This song is almost done. I do, there's something about it where I just kind of want to spice up the song a little more. And then right before the hook, maybe a bass slide or something to just tell you or maybe a drum fill, something to tell you that the song is easing into this nice hook, I think would be really good, because it just kind of comes out of nowhere right there at measure 29. Oh, we're listening to this chorus. It doesn't have a way of picking up into that chorus, so I'd like to do that. We are done. This has been day 26. Thanks for tuning in every day. I'm gonna go back and do some tutorials. I'm gonna do compression, I'm gonna do limiting, I'm gonna do probably saturation, maybe. We'll see. People get mad at me for that, but we're gonna take a little bit of time, listen to this track, see how we like it. This is gonna be the next single. I really like this song. It's really groovy. I think it could be a really satisfying song to listen to. Like, subscribe, comment, tell me what you're working on, tell me what you want to see out of the channel. I really appreciate the viewership. Thank you so much. Have a good night. You can do it. I had a strange emancipation in the park. I smoked fiend for your fire. You gave me spark. I was cooking for Grammys up in my car. Had me Tony Stewart, how I pull right out the lot.